The sky splits open with the roar of twin turbofan engines, while the ground trembles as if the Earth itself knows what is coming. Cutting through the smoke and chaos of modern battlefields, a short and rugged silhouette appears on the horizon, the A-10 Thunderbolt II, better known as the Warthog. In 2026, its return was almost impossible because only months earlier the US Air Force had planned to retire it forever. Yet instead of rusting away in the desert, the Warthog has been reborn with new targeting systems, upgraded weapons, and advanced data links. What was once a relic of the Cold War has now become a lethal force again, proving that close air support is not just surviving, but evolving. This is the story of how America's most stubborn warplane refused to die and came back more deadly than ever. The reason the Warthog refuses to disappear lies in its brutal simplicity. Born in the 1970s to stop Soviet armor, the A-10 was not designed around sleek radar systems or advanced missiles, but around a single monstrous weapon, the JDAM Avenger cannon. This 30mm rotary gun was so massive that the aircraft itself had to be built around it. With 7 barrels spitting nearly 4,000 rounds per minute, the Avenger could tear through tank armor like paper, turning the battlefield into its hunting ground. Its rapid cannon fire became more than just a sound, it was a promise. For American troops under fire, the growl of the Warthog's gun meant salvation was near. But the A-10's legend is not only about firepower. Its cockpit sits inside a titanium shell nicknamed the bathtub, shielding pilots from direct hits. Every inch of the jet was engineered to survive punishment. Engines mounted high to avoid debris, redundant hydraulics, and even manual flight controls if systems failed. It was a machine built to take damage and keep flying. And history proved it. From the jungles of Grenada to the deserts of Iraq, from Afghanistan's mountains to Syria's skies, the Warthog kept coming back. Now, in 2026, it roars again over the Middle East, carrying scars of past wars yet stronger than ever. The A-10 is not just an aircraft, it is a survivor, a warplane that defies retirement and redefines close air support for a new generation of battlefields. What no one expected was this. After decades of service and countless attempts to retire it, the A-10 in 2026 received a wave of upgrades that changed the entire conversation about its future. The impact of this modernization was so significant that it demanded attention because it was not just about one aircraft, it was about how the very concept of close air support would be carried out for every American soldier on the ground. And that story begins now. In Congress, voices like Representative Abe Hammond of Arizona pushed for amendments to the National Defense Authorization Act, ensuring the Air Force would continue training, testing, and sustaining the A-10 until its planned retirement date. The goal was not only to keep the aircraft flying, but to preserve the hard-won lessons and operational expertise of its missions, shaping whatever system might replace it in the future. This included maintaining formal training units so new pilots could still learn the Warthog's unique role. For years, however, Air Force leadership had fought to retire the A-10, and their reasoning was clear. The jet is slow, lacks stealth, and would be highly vulnerable against advanced air defenses fielded by nations like China or Russia. Redirecting funds from the Warthog to fifth-generation fighters such as the F-35 seemed logical, faster, harder to detect, and far more versatile. By 2026, the plan was set: retire all 162 A-10s still in active service. Yet the battlefield had other ideas, and the Warthog story was far from over. The upgrades given to the Warthog were not minor tweaks or temporary fixes. They were serious, cutting-edge improvements that fundamentally changed the jet's role in combat. The most important was the integration of Link 16, a real-time military data network often described as the battlefield's own internet. With it, every aircraft, ground unit, and command post could instantly share information. Before Link 16, A-10 pilots relied on radio calls and what they could see with their own eyes. But by February 2026, upgraded A-10Cs were fully connected, able to receive live targeting data from other aircraft, share sensor feeds with ground commanders, and operate seamlessly alongside coalition forces. Then, in April 2026, during Epic Fury operation, the Air Force went further by adding aerial refueling probes to the A-10, allowing it to refuel from KC-130 Hercules tankers while flying low and slow. This simple but effective solution extended its reach dramatically. Combined with JDAM bombs, Maverick missiles, Sidewinders for self-defense, and laser-guided rockets, the modernized A-10C became far more capable than many had ever admitted. It was no longer just a relic, it was a fully armed and networked attack jet ready for modern war. As combat data from the Epic Fury poured in, the old belief that the Warthog was finished collapsed. On April 20, 2026, Secretary of the Air Force Troy Menck announced what had once seemed impossible. The retirement plan set for 2029 was canceled. Instead, the A-10's service life was extended to 2030. The reason was clear. America needed its close air support power intact while waiting for the defense industry to deliver a true replacement. The Warthog had once again defied expectations, proving that its story was far from over. Decades of combat had proven the Warthog's resilience, but the 2026 modernization marked a turning point. With Link 16 integration, the A-10 was no longer just a relic of the Cold War. It became a fully connected platform, able to share real-time data across the battlefield. Combined with precision weapons like JDAM bombs, Maverick missiles, Sidewinders, and laser-guided rockets, the aircraft transformed into a modern strike fighter, ready to face new threats. This wave of upgrades silenced years of debate about retirement. Instead of fading into history, the A-10 emerged stronger, proving that its legendary GAU-8 cannon and unmatched close-air support role could adapt to the digital age. The Warthog was not just surviving, it was evolving, ensuring its place in the skies for years to come. In the end, the Warthog is not just an aircraft but a legend, declared obsolete, targeted for retirement, yet reborn through upgrades and battlefield necessity. Every time the fight begins, it proves again that no modern jet can replace a flying tank that delivers firepower, survives punishment, and stays overhead for hours, reminding the world why the A-10 refuses to die.